If you're an uncommitted junior or senior stuck between 85 and 89 exit velocity, I need to tell you something that nobody else will. You're training with no plan. You're either copying random workouts from Instagram, benching like a bodybuilder, or avoiding the weight room entirely because you don't know what to do. And that's exactly why your exit velocity will not move. There are hundreds of thousands of high school baseball players in this country. Almost all of them are training wrong with no structure, no plan, and just guessing in the weight room and hoping it translates into the cage or in a game. Good news is, most players don't understand the difference between random training and structured athletic training. So in this video, I'm gonna break down what I call the pure athlete protocol and how over 50 of my athletes have used it to add 5 to 10 mile an hour to their exit velocity in just 60 to 90 days. At the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why random training keeps you stuck and what structured athletic training actually looks like. Now, what most players try to do is copy workouts from Instagram or bench press their way to more bat speed. Or even worse, skip the weight room entirely because they think cage work is enough and coaches don't actually see the connection between weight room and bat speed, right? You most likely fall into one of these three categories. So what you need to understand is that your weight room training is actually the foundation of your on-field performance, and I call it the development trap. Everything you're doing or not doing in the weight room is keeping you stuck. If you're copying random exercises with no progression, benching 3 times a week with no purpose, or avoiding strength work altogether, you're leaving mile per hour on the table. So if you're able to shift from random training to structured athletic training and build explosive power that actually translates to bat speed, then you're gonna have way more chances to actually jump your exit velocity instead of staying stuck. So I developed this concept called the pure athlete protocol. And it starts with identifying what's actually limiting you, because that's the first thing that actually determines whether you make progress or not. Most players don't even know what to train in the weight room. So they copy what looks cool on Instagram or do what their friends are doing. But your body operates with specific athletic limiters that are keeping you from expressing power. So the most important step should be identifying what's holding you back athletically, not what looks impressive or feels difficult. It should also be specific too. You need to assess your movement patterns, ground force production, and rotational capacity. Random training is comparable to throwing darts in the dark. You might hit something eventually, but you're wasting a lot of time. But really, identifying whether it's weak hips, poor rotational strength, or single leg deficiencies, that should be there first. Very similar to diagnosing the root cause before building a plan. Now let me break down the 3 camps that most players fall into, and you're probably in one of these right now. Camp 1, I call it the IG Andy. You see a workout online, like 5 exercises for bat speed, you save it, you try it in the gym, maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't, you're not really sure. Next week, you see a different workout and you try that one too. No plan, no progression, and no way to know if you're actually getting better. Just random exercises hoping that something sticks. You're not lazy, you're working, but you're working without direction. Camp 2 is the bodybuilder. You bench 3 times a week, curls, leg press, some shoulder work. You're getting bigger and you're getting stronger in a general sense, but your 60 time hasn't dropped and your exit velocity is the same and your swing doesn't feel any faster. Because you're building size, not speed. You're training muscles and not movement. And camp 3 is the non-lifter. You barely touch the weight room and you think cage work is enough. You think mechanics contribute 100% to bat speed. So you skip the gym and wonder why players who work less than you in the cage hit the ball harder than you do. Well, here is the reality. All 3 of you are missing the same exact thing. A structured athletic training plan that builds explosive power and actually translates into bat speed. Not random workouts, not bodybuilding, and not skipping the gym. Structured, athletic, and progressive. So quickly, let me tell you my story. From 6th grade to 12th grade, I was definitely in camp 2. I trained in a garage, bench press, curls, squats, basic bodybuilding stuff. I got strong and I built a solid foundation, but my metrics, like my 60 time was 7 seconds, my power did not translate to the field at all. I was training muscles and not athleticism. Then after high school, I discovered something called Cal Dietz triphasic training. It was the first time I learned about athletic training instead of bodybuilding. Explosive movements, rotational power, single leg work, speed-focused exercises that actually translated into performance. And honestly, I did it completely alone. No coach, no guidance, just me figuring it out through trial and error for 18 months. And my 60 time dropped from 7 seconds to 6.75. That's almost 0.3 of a second of improvement, and that is massive. And it's not because I got bigger, I actually just got faster. And that's when I realized that random training keeps you stuck. Yeah, training like a bodybuilder builds size, but athletic training builds speed. But here's the thing, I wasted 6 years training wrong. Then I wasted 18 more months figuring it all out alone through trial and error. And let's be real, man, you do not have that time. You're an uncommitted player and simply cannot afford to guess. You can't afford to waste another month copying Instagram workouts or benching without a plan. And that is why I built the Pure Athlete Protocol so you don't have to waste years like I did. So let me break down what the Pure Athlete Protocol actually looks like. It is 3 foundational steps: identify, build, and transfer. And if one of these is missing, you will stay stuck. So step 1 is identify. You cannot fix what you cannot see. Most players don't even know what is limiting them. You think, I need to get stronger, but stronger at what? If your hips don't fire explosively, no amount of bench press fixes that. If your core can't transfer force rotationally, curls will not help. If you leak power through weak single leg stability, then leg press is pretty much useless. So first, you must assess. You have to look at ground force production, rotational capacity, single leg strength, and overall movement quality. You must find the athletic gaps that are actually limiting your bat speed and not the exercises that look cool on Instagram and not the lifts that make you look jacked. The athletic limiters. Because once you identify the true athletic limiter, everything becomes intentional. You're not guessing anymore and you're targeting. Step 2 is build, and this is where we completely flip your approach. You're not copying random workouts anymore, you're following a structured plan that builds explosive athletic power. Instead of chest flies, we do trap bar deadlifts, 3 sets of 3 at 85% of your max. This builds explosive hip extension, which is the engine of rotational power. Instead of leg press, we do single leg work. Bulgarian split squats, single leg RDLs. This builds independent leg strength and prevents power leaks. The point here is that every exercise has a purpose and every rep is connected to your performance on the field and bat speed. You're not training to look good anymore, you're training to be productive. And this training must be periodized. So off-season looks different than in-season. You have to build explosive power when you have time and maintain it while you're playing. It's not random Instagram workouts that change every week, it's systemic, progressive, and structured. Step 3 is transfer. Because here is the truth, bro, explosive power means nothing if you can't transfer it onto the field. And this is where so many players fail. They get strong in the gym or they try random workouts for a few weeks, but their swing really does not change. So you have to make sure that your power translates. Analyze swing mechanics twice a week, frame by frame. Clean up your barrel path, your posture, and your sequencing. Make sure your explosive body can actually express that power efficiently. And you have to train your mental game through breath work, visualization, and routines so you can execute under pressure and transfer gym strength to actual game performance. Do that through accountability systems and check-ins with progress tracking. That way you don't have to rely on your one-on-one session once per week and then disappear for 6 days hoping it works. You're inside a structure that bridges training to performance, not random, not guessing, and not hoping. Now let's talk about you specifically. If you're in Camp 1, the IG Andy, you're working, I know you are, but you're working without direction. You see an exercise, you try it, and then you move on to the next one. No plan, no progression, and no way to know if it's actually working. At the end of the day, that's not training, that's kind of entertainment. If you're in Camp 2, the bodybuilder, you're definitely getting stronger. Your bench is going up and your arms are getting bigger. But your exit velocity, still 87 miles an hour. Because you're building muscles and not movement. You're training for the mirror and not the field. If you're in Camp 3, the non-lifter, you think cage work is enough. And you probably think that mechanics are everything. But you're watching players who hit less in the cage hit the ball 10 miles an hour harder than you. That's not because their swings are perfect, it's because their bodies are explosive. At the end of the day, all 3 of you need the same thing, a structured plan that builds athletic power and translates into bat speed. Most players will never figure this out on their own. They'll keep copying Instagram workouts, they'll keep benching without a plan, and they'll keep avoiding the weight room because they don't know what to do. And they'll stay stuck at 87 mile an hour for their exit velo, wondering why nothing changes. That's because there's a massive difference between working hard and working smart. If your program is random exercises from Instagram, you're working hard but in the wrong direction. If your program is bench, curls, leg press, you're working hard building the wrong thing. And if you have no program at all, you're hoping your swing alone will get you there. And the truth is, none of these work. Your body has to be trained for performance, and that requires structured athletic training, progressive power development, and periodized programming. I've had players come into my system stuck in the mid-80s for their exit velocity for months. They've been lifting or trying random stuff or avoiding the weight room entirely and nothing moved. Within months of the pure athlete protocol and structured athletic training, all of these guys right here are 95 plus in their EV. Ryan here was stuck at a 7.360, and after explosive speed work and proper strength programming, he is sub 7. And these results did not happen because they lifted more weight, not because they found a magic exercise on Instagram. It's because they followed a plan. Every exercise was connected and every lift supported explosive power, and every session was built to make them faster, not just bigger or more tired. That is the difference. Structured athletic training isn't hands-off, it's actually more intentional. You're not just doing random lifts, you're following a progression, you're building explosive power systemically, and you're transferring it onto the field through mechanics and mental training. You don't copy an Instagram workout one week and disappear the next. You're inside a system that connects everything, weight room to cage to game. And that system creates speed. Baseball development is not about looking jacked or doing whatever's trending on Instagram, it's about being fast. If you feel like you're lifting or trying random stuff, but your metrics aren't moving, if your body doesn't match the athleticism of the level you're chasing, if you have no weight room plan and you're just hoping cage work is enough, it's not effort that's missing, it is structure. And once you shift from random training to structured athletic training, everything accelerates. Now let me tell you exactly what I do inside the Apex Power method. It's built on the pure athlete protocol: identify, build, and transfer. I take uncommitted juniors and seniors stuck in the mid-80s for their exit velocity, and we get them to 90 plus in 60 to 90 days, and here is how. First, prime development. It is the identify and build step. I assess your athletic gaps, then I program explosive strength work that actually translates into bat speed. Periodized throughout your whole season. Delivered through a training app, you get your exact sets, reps, and rest periods, as well as progressive overload. Everything is tracked. No more copying Instagram, no more benching without a plan, and no more skipping the weight room. You now have a structure. This is really where exit velo jumps happen, not in the cage, but in the weight room. Next is Major League Launch, where we build yet again, but more so on the transfer aspect. I make sure that your explosive power translates into your swing through video analysis twice a week and frame-by-frame breakdowns. I clean up your mechanics so your powerful body can express that power efficiently. We're not just fixing your swing, we're making sure your athleticism shows up in that swing. Finally is the Titan standard, where we prioritize the transfer aspect. We train your mind through breath work, visualization, pregame routines, and weekly accountability calls. We make sure that you can perform under pressure, and we bridge gym strength to game performance. Because power truly means nothing if you can't execute when it matters. And here's what I really want to stress. This system has worked for over 50 athletes. Ryan came to me stuck with his exit velocity at 90 miles an hour. He was doing traditional lessons and lifting without a plan. He even used ChatGPT for his structure. At that point, nothing had moved within his metrics. I took him through the pure athlete protocol, identified his issues, built explosive strength and power, refined his mechanics, and trained his mental game. 90 days later, he went from 90 EV to 101 EV and actually committed to Lake Michigan College. Julian came to me with 93 exit velocity. He had a really good swing, but his body wasn't explosive to the degree that he could actually reach. He was going in the cage with no plan, no progression. We completely transformed and transferred all the work he was doing in the weight room into his swing using the Titan standard. 3.5 weeks later, 101 mile per hour exit velocity. Danny was stuck at 77 exit velocity for weeks. He had no structure or plan in the weight room. He would go in there and just do whatever he felt like. We shifted him into athletic training using the trap bar, med balls, and single leg work. After 3 months of programming, he hit 96.7 exit velocity and actually took a pitcher yard in his first live AB of the year. I mean, these are not accidents. This is what happens when you shift from random training or bodybuilding or no training at all to structured athletic training. And for those of you who are actually serious about this, who are uncommitted juniors or seniors who know you need a plan before the spring, here's what I do. I work with you one-on-one through all 3 steps. Identify your athletic gaps, build your explosive power through a structured plan, and transfer it to the cage and in-game through mechanics and mental training. It takes a lot of work, but it's straightforward and structured. You are no longer guessing, and you're not copying Instagram, and you're not benching without a purpose. You're now executing a proven system. To be eligible, you need a few things. You have to have the goal of wanting to play college baseball, and you and your family need to believe in your ability to play at the next level. You simply must be coachable and willing to follow a system. Not just try random exercises for a week, execute a structured plan for 12 to 24 weeks. And when the results come, because they will, you need to be ready to capitalize on them. Film it, post it, email coaches. I will help you with that too. If you want help building this system with real structured athletic training, real feedback, real progressions, and real measurable growth, hit the link in the description. Apply and book a call with me, and I'll give you the plan that you've been missing. Because the difference between players who break through and players who stay stuck is not motivation. It's having a structured plan instead of guessing in the weight room.